And 25 rides and virtual reality experiences will be packed inside a nearly 250,000 square foot building, 4 stories. Looks like a bean. The theme park expected to open in July, and it's not far from Hong Kong. I guess China.
Let's go.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Kind of cool. You want to go to Hong Kong anyway, right?
Yeah, let's go.
Take a little trip
across.
Let's
go, yeah.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, Republicans are revealing their state K education budget. We'll tell you how Democrats are responding.
Why SSM Health is changing its plan to build a clinic on South Park Street. We'll explain.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3 Now. Republican leaders at the Capitol are negotiating tonight their proposals for K-12 education funding.
Democratic Governor Tony Evers wants a $1.4 billion increase, but today the Assembly GOP released a plan that doesn't come clear. Our Rose Schmidt is live from the state capitol to explain what happens next. Rose?
Yes, well, within the last hour, I spoke to Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald about the Senate Republicans' plans for K-12 education, specifically asking him how much they will allocate for special ed. He says they're meeting right now to figure that out, and he's still trying to come to a consensus with the Assembly GOP ahead of a vote in the state's budget committee tomorrow.
We have come together with a plan as to how we are going to continue to have great schools in Wisconsin.
Assembly Republicans announcing a $500 million increase in funding for K-12 schools, less than half of what Democratic Governor Tony Evers is asking for. Democratic lawmakers are urging the GOP to listen to Evers, the state's former education head.
I would hope that the Republicans, this is not their final bottom line, because it's not going to help schools who are really struggling right now.
Under the Assembly GOP plan, the funding increase would be less than $600 million that was put in the last budget under former Republican Governor Scott Walker. But Assembly Speaker Robin Vos saying he believes his caucus is making a historic investment in education.
This one we think does even better. So obviously if the last budget was kid-friendly, this is like kid-friendly plus.
13% increase in state funding for special education, which is the first increase in more than a decade.
Assembly Republicans are proposing a $50 million increase for special ed, compared to Governor Evers' proposed $600 million.
School districts can't wait on this anymore. They need the money for special needs. They have been passing referendum after referendum after referendum just to keep their doors open.
Democrats on the state's budget committee vow to continue to push for $600 million for special ed. Speaker Voss also announced his commitment to funding schools to 2/3 of their total costs, one of the plans Evers campaigned on. Representative Chris Taylor says that item is a step in the right direction.
It's just a piece of the puzzle, and unfortunately it seems like my Republican colleagues are leaving the rest of the puzzle behind.
The Joint Finance Committee will meet tomorrow to vote on the state's education budget. Now, I also reached out to Governor Evers' staff to find out how he's feeling about the Assembly GOP plan, but I have not heard back yet. We know that he met with Republican leaders this morning, issuing a statement afterwards saying that he thought that education was an area where they felt that they could work together.
Rose Schmidt live at the Capitol. Thanks, Rose.
All right, let's get a look at First Alert Weather now. Meteorologist Dana Fulton joining us on the weather patio. Dana?
It's sunny out right now, but also very, very windy for us. Doppler track quiet in southern Wisconsin. To the south, they have already issued a tornado watch. It's well to the south for us right now. We will be keeping an eye on those storms as they move north, but it seems like the good news for us, we're going to miss a lot of them. 77 currently in Madison, 80 in Rockford, so there is warm air in the northern Midwest currently. And compared to this time yesterday, it's a big jump in our temperatures, about a 24-degree jump in Madison, and then Lone Rock, a 29-degree jump in Janesville. So the temperatures are warmer. The wind speeds have picked up quite a bit, coming from the south right now at about 26 miles an hour in Janesville, with those wind gusts in the low 30s. The good news, tomorrow won't be nearly as windy, and the temperatures, though, will still be pretty mild. We'll take a closer look at what's ahead for your Thursday and a stormy Friday in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Dana. A group of chronic pain patients are calling attention to national opioid guidelines that they say prevent them from getting the medication they need. A group of about a dozen held signs outside the state capitol as part of a nationwide Don't Punish Pain rally. The organization says the 2016 CDC opioid guidelines are too restrictive. Opioids, the federal government says those rules aim to fight the war on opioids, which are prescribed to prevent drug overdoses, but the chronic pain patients say they go too far.
Our goal is to educate the general public to what is going on, because everybody's just one car accident away or disease diagnosis away from being a pain patient.
The organization aims to spread awareness of the issue as they say 100 million Americans are suffering from chronic pain.
People near Fort Atkinson are back in their homes tonight after a gas leak near Treeloft Road at Highway 12 forced them to evacuate. Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says they were called about noon after a construction worker accidentally hit a line. While residents were allowed back in shortly after, they say it was a pretty scary situation.
The only thing that I know, when we pulled in here, we pulled up to the driveway here, and guy come running up the road and said, everybody's got to get out up here. We could smell gas. I put two and two together. I got the hell out of here.
Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says while everyone was able to get back in, some people are without their gas service for now.
Madison water utility crews worked to repair a water main break on the city's north side today. Repairs have the northbound lanes of North Sherman Avenue closed between Boyd and Schlimgen Avenues. The main break caused a significant hole to form beneath part of the road there. Dozens of homes were without water and traffic is being rerouted. This weekend, thousands of drivers will be headed to the interstate for holiday travel.
It's a chance for state troopers to remind drivers to be safe and slow down. Our Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us now with why it's also an opportunity to see the difference that a year has made. Adam?
Well, Susan and Eric, it was around this time last year that we saw a string of crashes over a relatively short period of time along the interstate, leading the speed limit in work zones to be decreased. But now the DOT and State Patrol say things this year are a lot better. In fact, they do say that this year, the DOT says there's been a record 31 low crashes reported in April and had nearly 500 fewer tickets given out this April as compared to last year. State troopers say Memorial Day will bring extra traffic, but if you're paying attention, they say you should be just fine.
I think it's better this year than it was last year when they initially lowered the speed limit. I think they've done a good job of. There's many signs out before you enter the construction zones, multiple warning signs, speed limit reduced ahead, and they actually tell you that the speed limit has changed.
As always, troopers say to drive without distractions, and if you're traveling for Memorial Day this weekend, to leave with plenty of time in advance. Give yourself plenty of time to get there. The DOT says even with the construction and even with the increase in travel this weekend, they've still seen a big jump in a positive direction as to where we were this time last year.
Yeah, those roads will be busy, no doubt. Adam Duxter down in Rock County. Adam, thank you. After Rock County was one of 14 counties confirmed to have a case of West Nile last year, the Rock County Public Health Department is monitoring for more potential cases of the disease now. The Rock County Public Health Department recommends that residents limit their time outside at dawn and dusk. Make sure windows and door screens are in good repair to prevent mosquito entry, and change the water in bird baths and pet dishes, they say, at least every 3 days if they are outdoors. The Salvation Army of Dane County is considering redeveloping its property on the Near East Side of Madison. The organization looking to demolish its current building, replacing it with a new shelter and expanding services, according to Madison Alder Patrick Heck. Some of the additional services being considered include adding transitional housing for clients still needing social services and also creating affordable and market rate apartments. Heck says the proposal is still in its early stages and the plans are tentative.
A Red Cross volunteer from Dane County is on his way to Oklahoma to help in recovery efforts. Dennis Erickson, who has been with the Red Cross for 18 years. For the past week, Oklahoma has been dealing with severe weather, including flooding and tornadoes. Erickson says he really enjoys helping people.
Basically, I had a health situation a few years back where I had a kidney pancreas transplant. And because of that and the people that stepped forward to help me and give me a good chance of life, or a better chance of life, I felt that it was a calling that I kind of had, that I needed to go out and help other people.
Erickson says he plans to be helping in Oklahoma for a minimum of 2 weeks.
Research shows food allergies are on the rise, and while they are more common in children, it is possible to develop them as an adult. If you have a food allergy, you'll notice an immune system response like hives, an itchy mouth, or an extreme end of the body, even anaphylaxis on the extreme end. It's your body reacting against a certain protein in the food. On the other hand, food sensitivities or intolerances tend to cause digestive issues like cramping or nausea. To figure out what food you are sensitive to, registered dietitian Emmy Baldwin doesn't recommend self-diagnosis or any at-home testing.
What they can do is provide either a false positive on a food that you're not intolerant to or don't have an issue with. They could promote unnecessary restriction of foods in the diet that you can actually, tolerate well.
If you suspect an allergy, she says it's best to see a board-certified allergist or testing.
Madison city leaders took the opportunity of the sunny weather today to talk about solar power. The city announced that it will be expanding its Solar Sun Energy Initiative. The program provides financial assistance to businesses, homeowners, and community organizations who want to install solar systems. The Literacy Network of Dane County took advantage of the program to install solar panels earlier this year. They say it's helped them save money on energy.
We're seeing on a month-by-month basis, we're seeing a reduction in our energy costs. And, every year we're going to receive a little bit more savings.
Over 100 homeowners have installed solar panels in the past 3 years through this program.
Still ahead on News 3 Now at 5, where the president says he walked out of an infrastructure meeting with top Democratic leaders.
Federal prosecutors charge Michael Avenatti with defrauding the client who made him famous. We'll have the very latest.
And more red numbers today on Wall Street. The Dow off 101 points, and Nasdaq down 35, and the S&P dropped 8. We'll be right back. A major development is being relocated following intense pushback from the community.
Residents near Park Street were concerned that an SSM health clinic going up in place of a grocery store would create a food desert in the neighborhood. Keely Arthur is on South Park Street and explains what SSM Health is planning to do now. Keely?
Well, SSM Health was going to build the clinic right here in place of this pick and save but they've decided to scrap those plans, and their decision all comes down to food access. Now, the Pick and Save is really the only full-service grocery store in the area, and because of that, residents didn't want it torn down for the SSM development. So now SSM is going to move their plans to an existing facility on Fish Hatch, not far from the original location. Now, the regional president, Damon Boatwright, says these plans for the clinic will not be compromised or cut back because of the change. He says he spoke with many leaders and residents in the area to come to this decision.
We heard you, Madison. We heard you, South Madison in particular. We've heard from a number of different constituency groups, those who lead churches, the Urban League, Hispano Centro, and those types of organizations, the Catholic Multicultural Center, and they had real concerns about whether or not there would be hardships if the grocery store, the one grocery store that's there, that went away.
Now, SSM is still committed to helping the Park Street area. The Pick and Save is an older grocery store and will close probably in the near future anyway. The city and SSM Health now saying they're committed to placing a new grocery store on Park Street on the city-owned piece of land, which is right nearby. Just to give you an idea how close it is, this is the Pick and Save right here. The city land is right here. So the grocery store will still be in this area in some capacity, and city leaders are really praising this decision. The alder here, Tag Evers, calling this a textbook example of corporate leadership. We're going to have more from the mayor of the city coming up on News 3 Now at 6.
We will see you then. Keely Arthur reporting live. Thanks, Keely.
The war of words between the president and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is again heating up.
The two met briefly today to discuss a possible $2 trillion infrastructure proposal, but the president walked out of the meeting. The president was reportedly angry after hearing comments that Speaker Pelosi made earlier in the day about a cover-up involving the president.
We believe that no one is above the law, including the President of the United States, and we believe that the President of the United States is engaged in a cover-up.
Instead of walking in happily into a meeting, I walk in to look at people that had just said that I was doing a cover-up. I don't do cover-ups.
The president is now threatening not to work with Democrats on bipartisan issues like infrastructure until the Democrats stop investigating him. A federal grand jury in Manhattan indicted celebrity attorney Michael Avenatti today in 2 alleged schemes. Avenatti has been charged with fraud and aggravated identity theft involving his former client Stormy Daniels, and with attempting to extort more than $20 million from sportswear giant Nike. Prosecutors charged Avenatti with stealing $300,000 of Daniels' advance for her book contract. According to court papers, Daniels has since ended her professional relationship with Avenatti, saying that he had dealt with me extremely dishonestly. With today's charges, Avenatti has faced federal indictment 3 times over the course of 6 weeks.
We saw the breeze out there, but it was nice to feel the warmer temperatures. And meteorologist Dana Fulton joins us now with our forecast. Dana?
Yeah, if we're just looking at a still image, it's not too bad outside. We have some sunshine temperature-wise. Things climbed right on up for us today, above average at 77 right now. We started the day off close to where we should be in the upper 40s. Again, not too bad, just a little windy for us. Our Doppler track is quiet in southern Wisconsin, but we have storms to the south, and that's where the greatest risk for severe weather is stretching through today. At the edge of Missouri into Iowa and up into central Illinois under a moderate and enhanced risk, a slight risk into northern Illinois, and then that marginal risk stretches into the southeast corner of the state. And we're expecting to see a few thunderstorms, a few showers slide through again, mainly in the southeast corner, but that's not going to be until later on this evening. As far as any tornado threats, we're going to keep those to the south. We do have the chance to maybe see a little bit of hail come through with those storms later on tonight. And of course, the threat for some very strong wind gusts over 25 miles per hour. And that's what we're seeing right now with our sustained winds. But the greatest threat with those thunderstorms, again, is going to stay on the eastern side of the state. We still have a few more hours, though, before we have to be too focused on those storm chances really popping up. Right now, we're starting to see a few storms on the edge of Iowa and northern Illinois. They're going to continue to bubble up in front of this cold front that's driving east. We have a north front, or a warm front just to the north of us. Of course, you can feel that warmer air outside in the upper 70s right now. All of the system continues to move east. We will be just a little cooler later on as that cold front passes on over. But we're going to see some showers first. Looking at a mostly cloudy sky tonight with a threat for rain mainly to the southeast corner, and that really happens between about 10 o'clock and 1 this morning. That threat will slide on through. By Thursday morning, we're looking at a partly cloudy sky. Our breeze shifts, so it becomes more of a west-northwest flow early in the day, and it stays that way throughout the afternoon. We'll shift overnight, though, again heading into Friday, and Friday actually looks quite saturated and stormy for us. We're going to have scattered showers all day long with the possibility for some stronger thunderstorms in there as well. That rain chance could bring anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rainfall for much of the center bullseye in central southern Wisconsin for us. We're expecting to see a lot of accumulation because once those showers start up Friday morning, we're really not going to get much of a break until early Saturday when all the rain is out of here. So some isolated flooding could be an issue for us late Friday heading into Saturday. Again, that breeze coming from the south for us. We have those storm chances bubbling up later on this evening. The strongest rain potential is going to be well to the southeast into northern Illinois, really. By tomorrow morning, we're in the middle 50s, and then in the afternoon expecting sunshine. It'll just be a little cooler outside. Enjoy your Thursday because Friday we do have an alert day in the forecast because of those shower and thunderstorm chances. Could see some wind, hail, maybe even an isolated tornado threat. About 56 by tomorrow morning. Those thunderstorm chances will be pretty dicey and to the east. Our temperatures will still be above average, but not quite as mild tomorrow, in the lower 70s. Then Friday will stay in the mid to low 70s. That just comes along with a rain chance. Saturday and Sunday, the sun comes back for us. We're looking at a partly sunny sky on Saturday in the middle 70s. On Sunday, close to 70 for our afternoon highs with a variably cloudy sky. That just means a few more clouds than sun. And by Memorial Day, we start to have a thunderstorm chance, unfortunately built in mainly later in the day and at night, but we could see some bubble up in the afternoon, and those rain chances will stay with us through the start of next week. As far as the road conditions are concerned right now, I do want to take a look at the Beltline at Rimrock Road. The good news, the eastbound side was moving a little slower. It does seem like things have picked up a little bit. I guess that's pretty relative, though, because the eastbound side, of course, still a lot of red, still a lot of brake lights popping up. Folks not exactly going the speed I'm sure they wish they could go at this time. We're down to just about 23 miles per hour right around Verona Road. You get closer to John Nolan on the eastbound side, and you're still in the lower 20s. Looking around Verona, there are a few slowdown spots right downtown, and Janesville actually doesn't look too bad at this time. 39 and 90 should be pretty smooth. Janesville to the Beltline will take you 28 minutes, 18 minutes from Sauk City to Middleton, and the drive from Sun Prairie to downtown has gotten a little longer, about a 19-minute commute this evening. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, thanks, Dana.
Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, how legislation is aiming to help prevent hot car deaths. The story after a quick break. With the warm summer months ahead, lawmakers are touting new legislation to help prevent hot car deaths.
Last year, 52 children died in hot cars, tragedies that advocates say are completely preventable. CBS's Hillary Lane has details from New York.
I cry every day for Chase.
Miles Harrison says he still has not forgiven himself for the death of his son Chase in the back seat of the car.
It started to hit me that I had killed my son. I did it. My poor, sweet little boy.
Harrison's story isn't unique. Last year, a record 52 children died after being left in hot cars. Mistakes parents say they thought would never happen to them.
My husband and I vowed to never tell anyone that this had happened to us because there is so much shame.
Now, lawmakers and advocates are pushing the Hot Cars Act, bipartisan legislation that would require all new cars to be equipped with an alert system.
You have to have a warning when you leave your car. You should get that warning if you leave a child in a car.
Several car makers have already incorporated rear door alerts to remind parents they put something in the back, but lawmakers want it on the books.
This legislation is so important to guarantee the health and safety of children.
Bryce was just an unbelievably happy baby.
Raylyn Balfour's 9-month-old son died after she accidentally left him in the car. She now educates other parents about the risks to children.
The temperature can go up 10 degrees every 5 minutes. They can die or go into heat stroke very quickly.
Safety experts recommend putting something like your cell phone or one of your shoes in the back seat so that parents are forced to look before they lock. Hillary Lane, CBS News.
And we'll have another check of the weather in just a moment. Stay with us.
Here is a look at some of the stories we're working on. Deadly storms and rising floodwaters continue to batter the southern plains. The president's meeting with top Democrats ends abruptly and everyone's pointing fingers. And an exclusive report from the front lines of the battle against Ebola. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
A topsy-turvy house in Brighton, England has visitors standing on their heads for the perfect selfie.
The upside-down house, which sits on its roof while all of the furniture is stuck to the ceiling, was built to provide an inverted photo opportunity. Visitors can be seen standing on the ceiling, holding up the furniture, looking out of the window, or diving into the toilet. all providing fun, creative photographs for sharing on social media. The company now has 4 of these houses in total.
Pretty cool. Looking at that. Some houses are blowing around. Boy, the wind, you could hear it last night across southern Wisconsin.
Yes, the wind, we had a garbage can bouncing down the road this morning, actually, from the wind coming on through. Now, we're not expecting things to be as windy tomorrow, but we do have the chance for some stronger thunderstorms to pop up for us overnight, and we could have some stronger wind gusts along with those storms. Again, that's later this evening, really that 10 to 1 a.m. block in the southeast corner of the state. Looking through the next several days, tomorrow will be quiet during the day. Friday, though, that alert day could bring some strong to severe thunderstorms in the afternoon.
All right, we're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News coming your way next.